Agencies Drinking Beer is brought to you by Proposify, software that helps you deliver beautiful proposals in the cloud and close more deals.
Welcome to the 26th episode of Agencies Drinking Beer. On today's show, we're talking with Keegan Sard from Brisbane, Australia, and he's going to teach us how to automate and improve our efficiency using SaaS products. Good. Good. That was one take.
One take
for that little intro.
You're
it usually takes me a few takes.
You're getting good. You're getting really good.
Oh, I'm a professional now. So let's really project our voice now.
Project.
No, you're still too quiet. Go closer. You got to go closer.
I'm not more quiet.
I'm really close.
I'm looking at it.
No, don't trust your instruments.
Don't
be like
talk
a pilot.
About my instrument that way.
Be like the opposite of a pilot. They're supposed to trust their instruments. So the reason we're blathering on about this is because we got some maybe well-deserved criticism, polite, kind criticism, but criticism.
It deserved a T-shirt, too.
He did deserve a T-shirt.
Yeah.
A listener wrote in with some very pointed suggestions for how we can improve the audio quality of our podcast.
Yep, condenser mics, which I've always known we needed, but we didn't know if this was going to take off, so we went kind of,
Yeah, we were guerrilla.
But yeah, we're going to get some condenser mics and some boom stands instead of ducking down low.
We're going to be like pros instead of the amateurs.
We need a booth.
We do need a booth with a little red sign that says on air so people are quiet.
It's always so noisy in the background.
It is noisy. And I always see, the thing is, I'm always self-conscious. If we had a room that was like soundproof, then
you could do it.
I would be more loud. I would be more animated. But I always feel like there's people walking around. I don't want to be like, so Kevin, would you?
I was wondering why you're always wearing a suit when we do these things.
Is that for me to impress people?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Maybe I'll start. Okay. So one thing we want to talk about now, later on the show, we're going to be talking with Keegan from Australia, who was in, I think, LA when we talked to him. We had a good chat with him. So that's coming up soon. But for now, we're going to take a question from a listener. So we had a question from Jillian, she's a freelance designer, and she said, I have 2 clients who have now exceeded the 30-day pay notice, one of whom has done this the past 2 invoices, despite a few friendly check-ins. For people who consistently pay late, would you recommend a late fee? If so, how much would you charge?
Do you know, I wonder if she had a statement of work, which has a penalty attached.
She could, but from what I remember, clients often didn't even pay attention to those late fees.
Stuff.
Oh, if it's past 30 days, there's a 1% late fee, billed monthly or whatever.
Plus, you're always in jeopardy of losing that client if you're in an area or region that where clients are few and far between. So how do you walk that?
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
Yeah,
We've been there.
People don't want to pay late fees. You always get mad if your phone bill's a day late and you get charged a late fee or whatever. So that's a tough one. Here's what I would do. I thought about this a little bit. I sent her a response too. So one thing I would do is just, when you do the check-in reminders, use a phone. Don't email, because they'll get ignored. Too easy to ignore.
Totally agree.
Pick up the phone, call them, say... and actually, I think the best time to do it is... Okay, I mean, if it's already a one-off project and the invoice is late, whatever. But in the case where these are repeat clients coming back, I think it's a good idea to call them when they ask you for a new project. So, I have this need for a new website or some new project. I need you to work on it. I'm banging the table. See, we're going to get better. Slowly but surely, we're going to get better. I was just knocking on the table. So a good time would be to call the client and say, hey, it's, love working with you. Thanks for sending me the work. I want to chat about payment terms for a moment because, my payment terms are 15 days, 30 days. I need them paid, before the time frame, on and before the time frame, in order to take on this new project. Is that going to work for you? And I think the client would probably be sort of uncomfortable. They want you to take the project though. So I would say most clients would be like, okay, yeah, I'll pay you on time next time. Then you're not spanking them too hard.
I wonder if she's taking a deposit.
No, that's the other thing. That was another suggestion I would take is don't, because if you have to do the work, which takes however long, weeks or longer, and then you invoice, and then you have to wait another 30 days. Like,
50,
that kills your cash flow.
50% up front.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, I don't think clients should ever get upset about having to pay when something's delivered to them. Like, do they get to go for groceries and pile up their cart and walk out the door and say, "Okay, I'll pay you in 30 days"? Or do they have to wait 30 pays for their paycheck once the pay period's ended? They have to wait a month for that.
I agree. I'm
just the way the world works.
I know.
Yeah, the other thing I would do is don't even do, especially if you're a freelancer, but even if you're just a small company, don't do 30-day, even 15-day pay terms. Net zero.
Another idea, also is to take credit cards.
Yeah.
And then you charge them, though. You say, listen, it's going to be a charge, though, and you have them absorb the fee, credit card fees. But, I mean... Usually
it's the seller that absorbs the fees, though. Like with PayPal, if somebody pays, you absorb that 3%.
I know, but maybe you charge them, if they want to have that luxury, you could. Bottom line
but it's a luxury for you, too.
Yeah, the nice thing is, I mean, if she took credit cards, I bet they make a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if there was like a big pay button on the invoices. I mean, a lot of them do that anyway. I guess it's if they're still not paying, if you've got that. I mean, I think the deposit ID is great. 50% is not a lot to ask for. The other thing that I think we did in a lot of cases was we would do 50% up front, and key thing is don't start the work until you get the deposit. Everybody wants to jump in and just get moving on it, keep the project going. Because we've done that before. We've had the kickoff meeting. We've even had maybe a couple meetings with the client. Oh, yeah, we're waiting for the deposit, but we can just start going. And then the client says, you know what, I think I'm going to hold off on the project now.
Yeah.
And then you're out all that time. So it's hard as, I mean, it's just the reality of life. You got to get paid. You got to get paid.
You got to get paid.
Really good talk. Hey, Jen. Jen is
purposely making
intruding
noise.
on our podcast. And now picking garbage out of the garbage can. So Jen was just crumpling up garbage. Oh, and wiping it on the carpet.
Oh,
man.
Just because she's on the show, she feels like now,
She pulled trash out of the garbage.
Just to make noise.
And then got gunk all over her hand.
We need a booth that has a lock.
Okay. So the other thing, 50% up front, but then too, if you launch the project and invoice, you can still, the client can still push off a month or more to pay you after the project's done. So a good policy, I think, is to charge the 40% after you deliver the design. Actually, after the design is approved. Maybe. What do you think?
I think we did that where we had like 10% left at the end.
Yeah, the 10% at the end is good because then it's just that little bit
delivery
of, okay,
once it's delivered. And then if you're waiting 30 or 60 days for 10%, it doesn't hurt as much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was confused for a minute because I was thinking when you delivered the design, but actually it should be after the 2 or 3 rounds of revisions. Because then once the client says it's approved, let's go with it, you can bill the 40% and require it's paid before you actually release the files. So if it's a print project, let's say, the client approves the design, great, send it to the printer. Okay, pay me, and then I'll send it to the printer. Or if it's a website, okay, great, the website's approved, launch it. Okay, pay 40%, and then after you pay, launch the website, and then they pay the 10%.
But what's nice too with a website is if you control the domain till they pay the final, you can just shut it off.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we've had to do that before at Headspace, where we didn't actually turn the site off. We did sort of a little intermediate step was turning off the CMS access.
Right.
So we didn't actually take the site down. That's a little bit heavy-handed, and if you don't have very tight terms in your contract, the client, if they wanted to be a jerk, could sue you for disrupting their business by taking their site down. But you can lock them out of the CMS easy, and they can't get into it until they pay. I had to do that once.
Do you remember the client we had? It was government, and we delivered everything, but it was on their end. They didn't have the content in place.
Yes.
So they wouldn't pay us, even though we did everything that we were supposed to. And it was months and months.
I don't remember maybe that's happened too many times that I don't actually remember specifically which one it is.
One in particular was a government agency.
Yeah, want to give me a little hint?
School.
Okay, that was broad enough. I still don't know if I know who it is, but okay.
Dr. Pepper.
Oh, yes, that's right. Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, that's a good hint.
Yeah. He looked like not just Mario, but actually little Mario before he eats the mushroom. Like just tiny little skinny Mario. Because he wasn't big Mario. He was a little one.
He was, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I can barely remember that guy. Kind of blocked him out.
He looked like hell. He just had bags under his eyes all the time.
Sucky job.
Yeah, we can talk about clients this way now.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope that answered Jillian's question.
That was great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, let's move on to the interview with Keegan Sard. I'd like to welcome Keegan Sard to the podcast today. So Keegan runs a company called Simplegration, which is a consulting firm that helps startups and SMBs. Well, welcome to the show, Keegan.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
The question we always have to ask, this is Agencies Drinking Beer, do you have a beer in hand?
I do have a beer in hand, and it's 9 a.m., so 11 a.m., sorry, so I feel really bad.
No, don't feel bad. That's the way we swing here in Nova Scotia.
We're a terrible influence on our West Coast guests.
So I need to know what kind of beer you're drinking.
Okay, now you're really going to not like this. It's a Bud Light.
It's okay. You can get away with that when it's early, when it's still morning.
It's the only one I could find this early.
I'm sure down in because you're in LA right now, correct? So you down in Australia, you probably have really good beer and not that American stuff. I just made a lot of people mad.
You made all your US guys mad, but yeah, that's dead right. Craft beer all the way back in Australia.
Yeah.
But Bud Light's good with eggs and bacon though, because it doesn't take away from it. It's not a strong taste, so you can taste the breakfast.
Why don't you just have water then with your breakfast?
Well, you're right, but.
Okay, we went off track. Anyway, sorry, Keegan. So I want to know more about your background. So, tell us, what is Simplegration and how did you go about starting the company?
Sure. So Lee and I have been in consulting for a number of years now. Lee's my co-founder back in Australia. We've worked at consulting firms, both large and small, assisting companies, delivering their projects and their vision across a number of different sectors. More recently, Lee and I have been helping startups with their pain points, technology integration, growth or downsizing if it's all gone too bad. And we've been finding that a lot of small businesses are having the same problems but don't know who to reach out to or don't know where to start. So that's why we created Simplegration, to do what we've done for startups and do that for SMBs.
Maybe tell us, so you're helping companies with their pain points. What are some of those pain points and how do you guys help them out?
Sure. So what we're doing at the moment is reviewing current operations at small, medium businesses, be it HR, be it marketing, be it timesheeting and accounting, and then recommending a SaaS product in the market that can solve that pain point quickly and cheaply, that we've either used ourselves or we recommend to clients, be it Proposify. We use you guys, and we've recommended you guys to a number of different deals now. We've also used Xero.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so we're big fans of you guys and what you're doing, and we love the latest update as well. So there's a plug for you guys.
You're too kind.
So you're kind of like you're a SaaS. I don't want to say guru. I want to say a connoisseur of SaaS products, and you kind of research a lot of them, know the best ones to use, so you can advise customers on. You probably find a lot of people out there, business owners, have problems they don't even realize products that exist out there that can solve it, and you guys know what those are.
We keep up with the trends. We keep up with the tech blogs, work out what's new in the market. One we've just found that we're really interested to play with is a guy by the call. It's called Supdate, SUPDATE.com, and it's effectively a dashboard view for board or investors, and it's free. How good is that?
Wow.
It's just perfect. So that's just one I found over the last 24 hours that I'm really looking forward to having a play with, because I've got a client in mind that it's like a business intelligence tool that isn't too flashy, but will benchmark the numbers and give it to people that need it on a monthly basis, which is perfect.
Now, before we interrupted you earlier, you were going to mention Xero, I think. Is that another one that you use?
Yeah, Xero is probably our go-to accounting tool right now. We've recommended it to a number of clients. where they've been either on the Mind Your Own Business platform, the MYOB platform, or they've been on QuickBooks back in Australia. Xero's also going crazy over in the US. So you'll start to see a lot more of Xero popping up.
I remember, I think I was an early user of Xero. We didn't actually use it, but when we were running our agency, I remember looking at Xero and being impressed with it. But it was actually, it's an Australian company, right? And they didn't even have one that we could use here in Canada. Like, it was Australia only for quite a while, right?
Based in New Zealand, listed on both the New Zealand and Australian stock exchanges. So that's the difference there. I think they're available in Canada now. I'm pretty sure that the North American expansion is just going gangbusters.
I didn't know it was a public company. Wow.
Yeah, they're quite popular. I'd say one of the biggest, up and coming. Well, not even up and coming.
We integrate with them actually.
Yeah. But so would you say kind of Xero, QuickBooks, FreshBooks are all sort of at around the same level in terms of popularity for accounting software? Or are there some other ones we don't know about?
I think that they're the ones that are the go-to ones right now. There's a couple of others that are very early days, and we'll be very keen to see where they go. But I guess from my point of view and other small, medium businesses, accounting's not their speciality. So anyone in that market that makes it simpler to understand the numbers for somebody that just doesn't get accounting will do very well in the future. Xero's nearly there. FreshBooks is also nearly there, and then it probably then go with QuickBooks after that.
Yeah, QuickBooks just got into the cloud a couple of years ago, and I guess they're going gangbusters too.
Absolutely.
So how about just out of curiosity, since you're in this, you're kind of the guru with SaaS, what's the CRMs that you find yourself recommending quite a bit?
One of the better CRMs is a sales CRM that we've been recommending to clients, which is called Pipedrive, pipedrive.com. We like it because of the fact that it's very cost affordable. It's about $12 per user per month USD. And you can have no contracts, no account limits, no charges for API keys, and you've got no credit card required for 30 days. So you've got a really good amount of time to test it out and check it out for your business without having the Salesforce type $90 per user per month fee to get onto the cloud and get a CRM.
Yeah, actually, we integrate with Pipedrive as well, and I found CRMs are maybe the most fragmented kind of software out there. It just seems every day there's like a new CRM out there. There's a long list of them. It's a huge, it's a hyper competitive space. I mean, how do you go about picking the right CRM?
Great question. We partner with a number of different clients, and they give us the challenge. We've also just recently started our own podcast. It's not as good as yours, but it's something we're giving a go, and I doubt that very much. I think we've got like 5 listeners, and two of the crew are our guys, and probably our parents.
So that's a distribution problem, not a content problem.
Maybe that's something I'll talk to you about after the recording. But it's trial and error. We just recently did a segment on project management tools just to pivot a little bit, and it took us months to find the right tool, and it was just trialing after trialing different tools in the marketplace, getting recommendations and referrals from other guys that they were using to see which one was the best fit for the client at the time. We settled with Flow, and then actually turned out to use it ourselves. So it was a win-win.
Wow. Have you ever heard of Close.io?
No, what's that?
So it's a CRM, and actually I listened to the guy who is the founder, CEO, Steli Efti. He does a podcast with Heaton Shaw from Kissmetrics, and he's they talk about startups and that sort of thing. I checked out the CRM, which actually I was surprised when we polled our customers. Barely anyone used it, but apparently it's a popular CRM. But CRMs, I always find it's hard to find one that really stands out as different. They're all more or less, you import your contacts, you leave notes on contacts, you've got deals or opportunities, tasks, that sort of thing. But the one really cool thing I saw with this was it actually you can call through the app. So it's great if you're doing outbound sales because there's actually like a call button you do through the web browser with your headphones on, and you make the call, and then as soon as you hang up the call, it basically has like the recording of the call there, automatically leaves notes. So I would think that one of the biggest problems CRMs have to overcome is just salespeople not logging stuff.
Constant battle. The change management of getting, especially small, medium enterprise that have just done it via paper, to jump on board with these tools and work out that it actually will save them time in the long term is probably one of our constant battles.
Yeah.
One of the other great CRMs out there is Base, getbase.com. Again, it's probably on the high side in regards to cost per month per user, but that's got some of the features that you were recommending before with your CRM.
Okay, cool. Actually, we don't use Close.io. We don't really ourselves need a CRM, or at least not at this point. But we've been playing around with HubSpot CRM because it's free. I know Kevin used to use one called Less Annoying that he liked. I mean,
yeah,
there's so
Less
many.
Annoying's great. I got to put a plug in for that one. You should check it out, lessannoyingcrm.com.
You're always plugging that one.
I love it. I just love the name.
You love the name.
No, but it does work. It is less annoying because I've used a lot of CRMs over the years.
That sounds great. I can't wait to check that out.
Yeah.
No, but Kyle's right. I've been using the HubSpot free CRM, and it's really good, and it's free. Completely. It's not a freemium. It's actually free to use indefinitely, well, at least for now.
Yeah.
That's great. That's like that update that I found over the last 48 hours. Free. I don't know how these guys are making money, but, in the tech world, you don't need to make money. You can get $2 million and have no monetization at all.
Yeah. Not a bubble, though. There's no bubble. So, okay, let's say you're consulting a company. I'm sure this is a loaded question because every company's different, and it probably depends a lot on size and industry. But in general, what do you see like the biggest problems, the biggest hurdles that companies are facing, and kind of how do you help them, I guess, set up a stack of software that will help automate all those problems or tedious tasks, or help them, save more time?
Absolutely. Probably the one that comes up is one of my clients in Orange County, California. With these guys, it's about learning their business first and jumping in and working out how their business operates from a database basis just by spending time in the business, and then providing some ideas that will shape where they can go to improve not only their back in admin, but also make their staff happier. And the example that I've got is we implemented a service called Deputy.com. Deputy is scheduling and time management app for employees, mainly those guys that are in hospitality and factories and that sort of thing, where they like the flexibility of picking shifts and scheduling and all the rest of it. And we've been able to reduce his admin time of just scheduling the weeks by about 45% just in a 3-week period. So we're pretty happy with that.
Wow. Yeah, those are great results. I remember reading something kind of interesting that you had sent me, which was that you've played with some different payment models. So instead of just straight, typical stuff, hourly, monthly retainer kind of thing, that you even have experimented essentially charging based on value. So if you save the company time and make them money, then you essentially, bill for that. Can you kind of explain how that all works and what you tried?
Sure. So we had a number of small, medium businesses that said, we love the idea of you coming on board, but we can't afford it. And we sat down, the management team of Simplegration, and said, well, how can we work with these guys, because we like working with good people. Sometimes the business isn't that great, and we're like, how can we fix it? Is this going to cause us more pain by jumping in? But we like working with good people. So we tried to work out a way where we could all win, and we came up with some solutions where we would do a discovery of their problem, mix it with where we could go with what the deal or the SaaS product we could implement, how long it would take, the change management, the training, package it all up, and then say, okay, for the next 12 months, you owe us X dollars as a monthly fee, instead of having it as a capital cost that would drag out.
It's an interesting approach. I mean, how does it work? Is there problems with it? Do you ever get people who sort of try to say, oh, they try to minimize the good results you brought them so they don't have to pay as much or something?
Well, one of our other really interesting ways of doing it is we get access to their financials when we go in and work out what issues they're having. So we can work out sort of what money they're making. And so one of our other great initiatives that we've implemented with a couple of clients now is we'll take a percentage of their profit for a period of time based on the improvement that we've been able to deliver for that business. That hasn't burnt us yet, but I'm sure we might have some interesting conversations in the future as we grow and play with these different types of models.
Well, I mean, I would think that it comes across as very confident, which is great. It's saying, if you don't get paid, we don't get paid, and that sort of just shows how confident you are that you can bring results. So I would imagine customers would actually quite like it, that they don't have to pay a lot out of pocket and they can kind of wait and see if they get good results. But does that ever hurt your own cash flow where, sometimes it takes a while to get results, or it takes time for changes to make an effect, and meanwhile you're not getting paid for it? So how do you manage it, I guess, on the internal side?
It's a constant struggle, but we have created a platform where we think that if we're not creating value, we shouldn't be doing it, and it will pay off in time. So we have a cash reserve that we draw it out on when we need to, while we're waiting for things to kick in, and that's proved to be okay. Some months not as much as others, but it's been good. And one of the other rules that we run by with our clients is that if you've received our invoice and don't think we've created value for your business, we tell you not to pay the invoice. We've never had someone as a client tell us that we haven't created value yet, but I'm sure that will hurt our cash flow in time when that comes up.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably pre-qualify people too. So if you think that they're, money-grubbing, terrible people that are going to look at the invoice and be like, no, I don't want to pay that just because they're cheap, or, you can probably sniff that out early on, I would think.
Absolutely. We try to work with good people, good people first, and then go to what their problem is and what their business is. We're very open to working with anyone, but it's really grabbing the right client and the right fit. And I think you've had a few podcasts about that, and big clients, little clients, all the rest of it. We're trying to really pick and choose our clients more so than take whatever comes through the door.
Mm. I've always liked that idea of charging by value instead of time, because I think T and Lax, which I think most people probably know who that is, the agency they're actually not around anymore, but they were kind of one of the most, prestigious digital agencies here in Canada. And Tian, John, I think his first name is, said that once, that essentially that they track their hours internally, but they don't bill their client that. They actually try to figure out up front, if we hit a home run with this project, what value will that create for the client? Well, because if the client's making $1 million off something you've done, but you say, well, it only took, 100 hours to do, this is our hourly rate, you're leaving a lot of money on the table.
Absolutely. I think those guys were purchased by or acquired by Facebook, yeah.
I've heard there's a little bit of controversy around that, because I think that was the official line when they said, oh, we're selling to Facebook, we want to, we're excited to work on such a huge project. But I think when you start really digging into it and reading what some of their employees had to say, I guess they just let more or less everybody go, and a few people, including the founders, went to work for Facebook. I don't know if it was quite the acquisition they touted it to be.
Sneaky.
Yeah. But, I mean, so when they ran their agency, though, they did some great work for some amazing clients, and they were really great at documenting what they were doing, and they blogged about it and put a lot of detail into it. So, I mean, I think they were a great agency model to follow. I would say they probably just got tired after 10 years of, the hard slog of running an agency.
Yeah, I can understand that, and I think that that's really where we are seeing a lot of issues with SMBs. These guys have been running their small businesses for 10 plus years, and they're tired. They think that it's all work and no play, and we're trying to give them back the power in their businesses so they can focus on building their businesses, not building their admin or their processes or their back end.
That's interesting.
I've got a question for you, Keegan. Change topic here. I find it quite interesting that you actually traveled to California to work with a client. Do you do that often?
Yeah, I'm pretty flexible with clients. I'll work anywhere. I travel a lot. I've done about 40,000 miles in 90 days.
Really? Wow.
My mileage account's looking pretty healthy right now.
So is that something where I've always thought about this when people say, oh, they're flying somewhere to meet with a client. It's like, does the client pay for that, or does that come out of the project, or do you just work in those costs, or how do you still make that work financially? It's
definitely client to client worked out. We will sometimes cover it if we think we need to. Other clients will want us to be on site, so they'll pay, and then other times we'll incorporate it into our value-added fees.
That's cool.
So how long will you spend in California? How many days?
So this trip has been pretty big. We've had a few dramas on this current project. So we've had a development team that we were playing with a remote development team, and that's had its challenges. So we've had a few mistakes and a few issues with the build. So I've been here for about 30 days, and I've got another 16 days left before I go and visit a client in London.
Wow.
Do you work a lot with development teams, and the teams that you work with, because a lot of your consulting is about setting up systems that already exist and kind of putting them together. I guess what sort of percentage of that would be existing tools, and then what is building custom or custom integrations or that sort of thing?
Great question. My client here is a T-shirt manufacturer, and it's really funny. So he built me this T-shirt, and he says all about that SaaS, SaaS. And because I know I might license it. So 80 to 90% of our recommendations are what's in the market, and there's 10 to 20% that is a client wanting a custom build, either because we can't find it in the market or they want to tweak it to their own circumstances.
Do you tend to focus mostly on administrative type of SaaS products, or do you also kind of deal in marketing and automation, SEO, email, all that kind of top of funnel stuff?
Bit of everything. We've got one of the go-to digital marketing tools that I just absolutely love is Buffer.com. I don't know if you use those.
Oh yeah, we use Buffer. Yeah.
I am just obsessed with Buffer. I think their transparency is amazing. It's on another level for a private company to give away so much data about their business is something that should be celebrated.
Yeah, I love their blog. Their content's great, but they are super transparent. They list all the staff, and they're including the founders, the CEO, and everybody, and what their salary is on the blog.
Really?
They give away all their financial information. They're extremely transparent.
Because it works for them.
They also give away their revenue in real time with an API to bear metrics, which I just think is phenomenal. You can see straight away what these guys are making. So if you were going to join them as a company, you would be able to see exactly their numbers in real time.
Yeah. And they're a great example of how to do content marketing right. When I think Joel from Buffer, when they started, his strategy was guest blogging. He would guest blog on all these different popular blogs and use that as a way to bring traffic to the site. And then eventually they built up a great blog on their own that many different team members contribute to.
Yeah, the other great digital marketing analytical tools we've been recommending is the guys from Summel, who do these absolutely gorgeous social media reports every week for a monthly fee, and they're a PDF. You can send them on to clients, or you can just set your clients up so they get them directly, and it gives them a great amount of information about that week in their social landscape.
That's cool.
That's cool. There's also ones out there so there's SaaS products that I love their blog and their content, and then I try their tool because their content's so great, and then I'm kind of let down with it. I don't know. Do you have any examples like that, or do you find the same thing?
Great question. I guess the one that comes to mind is our project management tool. So we went with Flow as a project management tool after countless trials of a number of different project management tools. And the guys that built Flow are the same guys that did the UI for Slack.
Really?
Which was, so they're a company called Meta Labs.
Oh, they were Canadian. They're in Vancouver, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Flow. Flow has just changed the way we work, and we've recommended it now to a number of clients. We've also done a podcast about it. And then they released a new update, which was a communications tool in Flow. And I was like, hang on a minute, why don't they do an API to Slack? Because they helped build it. It was really weird, and I was a little disappointed at that.
Yeah. The one for me is Moz. They used to be SEO Moz, and now they're just Moz. And they're like, in terms of SEO blogging advice, like the best pretty much you can find. But then I've used their actual product, which does like, keyword tracking and ranking and inbound links and all that kind of stuff, and it was really like a fairly expensive tool, and kind of just not great software. And then I found one that was a lot cheaper but actually better, called Positionally, that gives you like your keyword rankings, and you can track how well you rank compared to your competitors for certain keywords, and what inbound links are, who's linking to you, and it was much better.
I'll definitely have to check it out. I'm not aware of Moz.
Oh, okay, yeah. So many out there. I mean, it's kind of interesting because I guess like we do proposal software, and they're our competitors, but it's I don't know, maybe it's a newer sort of sub industry of SaaS. It's not quite as saturated as, say, like the help desk SaaS tools, or CRMs, or that kind of thing.
I can't speak more highly about Groove HQ.
Oh, yeah. We use it. We love it.
There you go. It's just their blog and their journey to 500K annualized monthly recurring revenue is just amazing. I love it.
Yeah, we've been big fans for a long time. I think we've used it now for somewhere around a year and a half, 2 years, pretty much. So, yeah, we're huge fans of it. And I had tried like Get Satisfaction, which I don't even know if that's around anymore. What's the big one that everybody uses? Zendesk. And they are very clunky tools, but Groove has found a way to make it very simple.
I guess if we're talking about the ones that have disappointed me, I think Zendesk is one of them. It is a little harder to set up, and for some of our guys that are not tech savvy, it's been a challenge to set them up, and that's where we found Groove and haven't looked back.
Yeah, I mean, so since we're kind of slamming certain SaaS products, I want to get your take on Basecamp. What do you think?
I'm a fan. I like it. It's not for everyone, but that's SaaS. I think it works. I love the guys from 37 Signals. I've been following them for a long, long time. The way that they do their A/B testing, and I think should be a college class.
Yeah, that's for sure. No, I mean, I love the guys. It's one thing that I've started to see, and we actually don't use project management internally. I mean, we use Trello for kind of planning and stuff, but we don't really do project work anymore, so we don't need project management. But one thing I've been finding is that there have been competitors coming up in the last few years, like Asana, Podio, products like that. Actually, what was the one called? Teamwork. And these ones are actually, Teamwork especially has like a page on their site about how much better they are than Basecamp, because Basecamp is very rigid about certain things. Like they won't include features even if a lot of people want them, because they're like, no, keep it really simple, and sort of teamwork, I guess, fills in those gaps.
Yeah, I think also you guys would be familiar with Product Hunt out of San Fran.
Yeah.
So I think that's changing the SaaS model too, because you now can just type in project management into Product Hunt and work out exactly what tools are available. They've also run a podcast. It's great because they talk to guys that are in the game about what they're using, and then you can go in and test some stuff and see what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah, we were featured a few months ago. It was like 4 or 5, 6 months ago, something like that. But I didn't even realize how incredible it can help SaaS companies. If somebody puts you on Product Hunt and you get a lot of votes, like it can drive a lot of traffic to your site.
I better upvote you then.
Please do, and all the listeners as well. This is just a big Proposify ad now. Okay, cool. So Keegan, loved having you on the show, sharing your expertise. If anybody wants to get in touch to get some help consulting, how can they reach you?
Okay, so simplegration.com is our website. You can find us on there. I'm also on Twitter at Keegan Sard. Feel free to reach out. Any questions, comments? If you've got a tool that you've mentioned, or if we've slammed your tool today and you think that was unfair, get in touch and tell me why I should jump back on board.
Yeah, that's great.
It's fair enough.
Thanks, and enjoy your time in LA.
Safe travels.
Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the show.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Goodbye. Yep.
What did you think of that interview with Keegan?
I like that one because it was all about SaaS and efficiencies, because that's what we do. We create efficiencies in the sales process.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
If you want efficiency, use Proposify.
Yes. Interesting guy, too. I mean, travels all over. Gets business. He was actually on his way, I think, to New York, to develop more business. I mean, love that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got to get to New York one day.
Oh, that's right. You haven't been.
Still haven't been. I remember when I saw... Actually, it was when I played the Spider-Man game for Xbox. They recreated New York City, and you got to be Spider-Man, just like spinning through, slinging webs all through the city, and you could go to like Central Park and all these big landmarks. And I was like, man, this is a cool city. I got to go there someday.
Yeah, but you're a bit of a foodie, man. You'll lose it there.
Not as much as I used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not that fussy. Yeah, I haven't cooked in a while. Anyway, I'm getting off track. I think that's it for this episode.
We need questions.
Yeah, we need questions. You're making Kevin cry himself to sleep every night because nobody cares to ask some questions. So if you need any help running your business, improving your sales process, whatever, send in a question. Even better, an audio question. Then we can play it live on the show. You can be world famous. Other than that, rate and review us on the iTunes store, and we will see you next week.
Goodbye.